Okay. Landon, welcome to the stream. Haven't seen you around here before. How you doing tonight? Oh, cool. Well, welcome in, Landon. Have a look at this boss up here. I feel like I'm still not at the point where I can kill him, but let's see. Maybe I'm overestimating him. Oh, wow. This guy is going to take a ton of hits. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one. Yeah. That's not going to happen. I'm going to have to hit him so many times. Yeah, I don't know if I see it.
Otis.
Hello.
How you doing?
Welcome, Snacks. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
The delay there.
A little bit.
Yeah, playing more of my Cavaliers My Year franchise. Let me tell you. First of all, it's funny because and I figured this out by looking it up in 2K23. There's been a change where the alley-oop command. It used to be when a player was cutting to the basket and you were controlling the ball handler. You would press either triangle on PlayStation or Y on Xbox. You just double tap it, and then you'd throw up the lob.
Yeah.
For
Right.
some reason, what they did now, I think it's because alley-oops were kind of cheese in verses. What they did is they made it so when you go for an alley-oop, you have a limited window where you have to hit square or X,
Mm-hmm.
and it's weird because it's just an extra button press. But like, what happens if you don't is that you will either fumble the alley oop and turn it over, or you'll just catch it, come down, and then look like a homo. Because like, why would you? Anyway, let me tell you, man. Rookie LeBron and rookie Leandro Barbosa together. These two are fucking speed demons together. I am lobbing it left and right.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's 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 pretty funny because, like, as I'm playing rookie LeBron, you remember, especially because of how long he's been in the league and how much his game has evolved as he's gotten older. When you're playing with rookie LeBron, he sucks in the post.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fucking sucks in the post. And remembering that his jumper's broken. Like his best shooting ability is his free throws, and he's shooting at like a 72% clip. It's like, eh. You know, so it's hilarious because if you get past the defense, if you're using a pick and roll with him, if you're on a fast break, the dude's cheese. He's just like he's automatic. Like, um, when he's going up against a smaller defender, he mostly just bullies him. So then you just drive to the hoop and then go for a contact layup or a cradle layup, which I told you is a command you can specifically input, and you do that as guaranteed bucket with LeBron. If you're going up against a bigger defender, what you do is you post him up and you spin off him, because then you're way fucking faster than that guy is, and you'll just blow right past him and go for a dunk. It's easy cheese, but like if you sit there and you try to actually create a post scoring opportunity, or if your drive is actually cut off by the help defense and you then have to post up to try to create a scoring opportunity, he's basically broken. Like, he can't function.
Makes sense.
And it's crazy because that part of LeBron's game was 20 years ago. He was afraid to post up JJ Barea 12 years ago. And 11 years ago, he started actually posting people up and started winning championships. So it's kind of crazy to be playing with rookie LeBron and like, wow, he sucks. In the post, I mean. What's hilarious is your ability to edit players, what you can do with Shaq. If you drafted rookie Shaq, he will have an increase in mass in strength if you use the right training camp on him. However, it won't change his other physical abilities. So he'll become stronger Shaq, but he won't become fatter, slower Shaq.
Hmm.
He'll just remain Shaq. So you can keep strengthening him up like that, and you can pump every possible ounce and focus and everything into pumping his free throw numbers up as much as you can, and you can edit his shooting form so that his free throw animation becomes Rick Barry's, and it's almost like he actually listened and went to the training camp.
Mm-hmm. So you can basically do Shaq if he had Kobe's work ethic.
Yes, you could do Shaq and make him the GOAT, because if you do that shit, he becomes absolutely fucking unstoppable. Because the only way to stop Shaq, like, rookie Shaq is like gold in every possible post badge. So you post someone up and you're within like 15 feet of the basket, automatic make, like automatic, guaranteed fucking shit. The only possible way to stop you or slow you down is to foul you. And then if you're out there like actually fucking listening to Rick Barry and bringing that free throw percentage up to 85%, you're unstoppable. You can't average 40 points a game. It's hilarious.
Man. I'm gonna be sad when Shaq dies, probably sometime in the next 10 years.
Jesus. It's not fucked up at all.
Because he's so big, his heart's working overtime to keep him alive. We,
Yeah, this is fucking crazy. I'm getting ready to play the Timberwolves. This is their roster right now. You got Terrell Brandon. Uh, no, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. They're playing Wade at point. How about that? They got Dwayne Wade at point, Wally Serbiak at shooting guard, Latrell Sprewell small forward, Kevin Garnett power forward, Irving Conley at center. That is a fucking outrageously good lineup.
well, I'm sure Wade can't wait for his rookie contract to be up so he can get the hell out of Minnesota. But other than that,
More
yeah.
than more than likely, but I'm reasonably sure that they're going to go and win this championship Because like KG, like even though LeBron's doing really good, which I mean to be fair, I'm playing as him. KG is just running away with the MVP voting. Holy shit!
How does 2K do something like account for how good KG's defense is? Like, that seems like it would be hard to capture in a game like 2K, because that was the
It
main thing.
Yes, it is hard to capture the actual intangibles of the defense. When you play, you can create that. But will it give you credit for it? No. However, what it will do, because you have such high defensive stats and all those crazy badges and everything, that's weighted in the simulation. So what ends up happening is that KG becomes an absolute monster and actually picking up the defensive stats. He wouldn't do that in real life. In real life, what he'd be doing is he'd be shutting down the offensive play. He wouldn't need the stat. He would kill the possession. You know, it's almost in the same way that, like, because hockey assists aren't counted, really excellent floor generals are not always rewarded statistically in the NBA, but people can recognize that. So, because of that, KG is out here leading the league in blocks, which I don't think he ever did.
I
But
don't
even if
think
he
so.
did, I don't think he had a season where he averaged 5.7 blocks a game.
I don't think anyone in the modern era has had a season like that. Maybe Nerlens Noel?
I will see. NBA league leaders in blocks per game 14. Okay, the highest blocks per game in a season, so for qualifying, of course. Mark Eaton at 5.56. So yeah, this is literally NBA record already. Now, because of what you said, I'm just going to look for people who've played within the last 15 seasons. So up to 2008. Which works, because that's actually the 2008 Celtics season, so yeah.
Like, KG's numbers that season were not that crazy. They were definitely good, but he had much better statistical seasons in Minnesota.
Yes. The highest blocks per game in the last 15 seasons, which again is just going back to 2008. Hassan Whiteside in 2016, 3.68.
They don't make him like
Which
they used to.
considering he played 73 games, that's actually really fucking good. And it also kind of underscores how much he was not all that productive for the team. Is that 2016 was not the greatest season we ever had. Moving on. Yeah, that 2008 season I was just bringing up, Marcus Camby was the league leader in blocks that year.
Hmm.
And that's a name we haven't heard in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the person who appears the most on this, who played this century, so just since 2000, the person that appears on this list, the highest, the most, you pretty much expected Ben Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Second place, Hassan Whiteside. Third place, Dwight Howard. Fourth place, Serge Ibaka.
Oh yeah, Ibaka.
Oh, and Marcus Camby, of course, he's on this list of shitload. Yeah, he's second right behind Ben Wallace. Yeah, Kevin Garnett never led the league in blocks. I was just check what for him is his career high. His 2004 MVP season, 2.2. So like I said, 2K has him well over double his career high. To be fair, this is still realistically, historically, his MVP season. So that fits. But yeah, KG never showed up defensively statistically, but he's arguably the greatest defender of all time. He's up there in the talks with other guys like Ben Wallace and Mark Eaton,
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, Rudy Gobert. Now we have to acknowledge that. Dwight Howard is the only person to ever three-peat as Defensive Player of the Year.
Hmm.
You know, KG is up there in that conversation, without a doubt. I think it's not too far out of the realm of understanding, and I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say you could argue that the greatest perimeter defender of all time would be Ron Artest.
Mm. Even over like Michael Jordan or Gary Payton or somebody like that.
Ron Artest's defense on James Harden's cranium. No, but seriously, one of extremely few wing players to actually win Defensive Player of the Year, and he won Defensive Player of the Year during what was possibly the strongest defensive season in the entire history of the NBA. Beating out guys playing at the same time, like Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Kevin Garnett's MVP season, Tim Duncan. An absolute defensive monster. To pull that off playing from the perimeter. There's no doubt that Jordan and Gary Payton were both absolutely excellent perimeter players, defensive perimeter defenders.
Don't forget
But
about Ruben Patterson, the Kobe stopper.
You're right. The best perimeter defense we've ever seen was actually from Bruce Bowen because he kicked a motherfucker in the face. That's how you foul somebody when you're like, I don't want to give up an easy shot. Let me just jump kick this motherfucker. That's a spicy meatball. Yeah. Anytime you return to the main menu, this is not just when you first start the game. Anytime you return to the main menu, it will pop up, hey, check out today's daily deal on this VC package, which are all like at least $40.
Yeah. That's pretty dirty, admittedly.
It is. It's brutal. However, you want to know one of the funniest and most interesting things in 2K23
Yeah, go ahead.
is the WNBA.
Oh, really? Yeah. I remember reading
I'm looking
about
at the
that.
main menu right now. We've got my career, my team, my NBA eras, which is just the franchise mode. Features, which is your settings. Play now, which is obvious. The Jordan Challenge, which is different games and scenarios to try to. Yeah, it's sort of like the thing they did in 2K11, if you remember that.
Oh, okay.
And WNBA. And when you click on WNBA, what you get is the W, which is the WNBA My Player, and you get My WNBA, which is My League franchise mode for the WNBA, and you get Quick Play, which is just a quick game for WNBA. Now you don't have My Eras for the WNBA thing. It's just you take over from the current season, and draft classes will be auto-generated, or you could download custom ones online. But the fact that inside this game exists a WNBA game experience also is still pretty impressive.
How many people play it?
Probably almost no one. Very few folks, just for the novelty. But it's worth remembering that for the WNBA, they have rock bottom attendance ratings, and it's considered a packed house for them if they have like a couple thousand people show up. Let me check here. 2023 WNBA attendance. Oh, well, the WNBA's 2023 season hasn't started yet, so this is 2022 season. So this will come as no surprise to you, I'm sure. The highest attendance in the WNBA for multiple years running is the Seattle Storm,
Mhm.
because that's the only basketball team professionally in Seattle. But highest attendance, their average for last season was 10,000. Second place was 7,900.
Would
The
WNBA
low
season and take over Brittany Griner's team, and then have all her teammates be created players from Russia.
That would be hilarious. I was actually going to go in and check right now to see if she's actually in the game, because I don't think she should be, because of that reason. But we'll find out. Lowest attendance in the WNBA last season. This is the average. Remember, Seattle Storm at the top, 10,600. Lowest, the Indiana Fever, 1,776 average attendance per game. Now,
It
first
beats
of all,
more
it's
people
based
if
that
you
they got.
yelled out the side of a bus.
Unironically, now first of all, it's based that they got 1776. However, it's less than 2,000 people a game on average. Not only do college attendance games blow that out of the fucking water, there are places in this country where high school attendance games would blow that out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going to check average attendance NCAA basketball. It's the total attendance for NCAA Division One. This last NCAA season. The total amount of attendees at those games was 23,789,000. I'm not joking here when I say I genuinely think that's more than have ever attended a WNBA game since the league started. I'd actually like to check that right now.
Oh, I didn't know he could do that. Oh, how did that hit me?
No, not the average, damn it, the total. There you go. Alright, so 2, 3.5, 4.5. Well, that's 6. The remainder 7 million.
I played Red Dead Redemption 2 back when it came out, Ian. I'll probably play it again at some point, but yeah, not right now.
Okay, so having just done a quick look at stuff. Now this is just an eyeball, so the guess isn't 100% dead on, but NCAA Division 1. Now this doesn't include the other divisions NCAA. Now of course, lower divisions may end up having lower attendance, but this is still only just the one division NCAA. Men's basketball. Total attendance for last season, 23,789,000. That is more in that 1 year for just that one division of NCAA men's basketball. That is more in 1 year than the past 6 seasons of WNBA basketball attendance combined. When WNBA players ask why they get paid less than NBA players, sit there and say that.
It doesn't take a math genius to figure it out. Damn it.
I mean,
Damn it.
good grief. Yes, Brittany Griner is in the game. You know what's even funnier? I'm pretty sure Fry's Electronics no longer exists as a company. But I'm looking in the game, and Fry's went under before 2K23 was made, wasn't it?
I think so.
Hold on. Fry's Electronics went defunct February 24th, 2021. So that is before the 2021 WNBA season, which is before the last season, which would appear in this game. And I shit you not, as I'm looking at Brittany Griner's jersey right now, the Phoenix Mercury have as the ad on their logo, Rise Electronics.
Huh. Maybe they just didn't bother to take it off because they couldn't get another sponsor.
That would be hilarious. But like, imagine if a company went out there and was wearing a fucking advertisement for Blockbuster.
Apparently, Blockbuster's trying to make a comeback.
I think it's more along the lines of there is an existing company which is trying to purchase the rights to Blockbuster's identity, but there's no way Blockbuster as a company could still in any way exist. Because you know that whole meme, the last Blockbuster on Earth, that's somewhere I think in Oregon or something.
Right.
They're completely independently owned and operated. They were a franchise to start with, which is why they're still there. The Las Vegas Aces used to be the San Antonio Silver Stars, I think was their name. That's the Bill Laimbeer team.
Hmm.
You've completed your task.
Yeah, the Indiana Fever suck. That would explain the dreadful attendance. Less than 2,000 people a game. Like, you should barely be making six figures if you play for the Indiana Fever.
I wonder how cheap the tickets are too, right? Like, they must be really dirt cheap.
That's a good question. Indiana Fever ticket. Okay, I'm going to look at single game tickets and season tickets. Okay, the Phoenix Mercury are essentially the most popular team in the WNBA. I'll take a look and see.
Hey, Trevor, welcome to the stream.
So, Indiana Fever versus Phoenix Mercury at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The cheapest tickets are $15. The vast majority of tickets are set at $25. I'm going to see how much the most expensive tickets are. The most expensive tickets, courtside. Little under $200.
That's actually more than I would have guessed. I'm surprised they sell anything like that.
Which is to be fair. However, what did you say the ticket cost was for LeBron's game he was projected to break Kareem's record in?
Oh, people were scalping them for like $100,000.
Yes. Okay, now I'm gonna see how much season tickets are.
Who are you, and what in hell Volcano Manor is it? I hope you Then you must link.
I'm ready to place a deposit. Well, how much? Oh, dude, fuck you.
Or do you claim to what it means to be a...
They won't tell me how much the season ticket cost is. Wow. No, here we go. I just had to go through some bullshit. Because they're trying to advertise like joining some sort of a fucking retarded thing. Season tickets for the Indiana Fever in the best possible seats. Now, these are season ticket courtside seats. Price per game, $135 per game. Total price, $2,700. Now I'm going to compare that to Los Angeles Lakers season tickets just because those would be the tickets you'd expect would be the most expensive. First of all, there's a waiting list that is multiple years in.
I'm surprised. They're doing a little better
Price,
than I
no one
thought.
seems to want to mention.
I wonder why.
If you want to compare to season tickets at courtside, this is for the Warriors, which still would be high because it's a California team plus they're successful. Season tickets courtside, Golden State Warriors, $90,000.
It's a lot of money.
The team that won the championship last season, so that's what we're basing this off of, is, you buy the season tickets before the season starts. So at the time, they were the best team in the NBA because they had just won the championship. And I just say that to qualify the statement I'm about to say. The best team in the NBA, that's how much their tickets are, versus the worst team in the WNBA because they had the worst record. They didn't make the playoffs, and they had the worst attendance. Their season tickets courtside, $2,700. That right there is a huge disparity. That right there tells the reason why. Unbelievable.
My top 3 favorite basketball players, Landon, are probably Jokic, Doncic, and Embiid. I like skilled big men, and Doncic is the best player on the team that I've temporarily adopted. That's pretty much all there is to it.
See, I don't know why, but when you said skilled big men, the first thing that my brain jumped to immediately was, do you remember Ham's copy pasta by Triangle?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
That's what I thought of. Oh, God. You'll love to see it. Ugh.
You know what would be funny? Running the triangle with JaVale McGee.
All right.
Too
I'm going to head
bad
off to
Phil Jackson
bed
never had a chance to do that.
pretty soon. Yeah, it would have been interesting. Gonna head off to bed pretty soon. There's just a couple more things we're gonna do.
Okay. Oh, god damn it.
I at the end of every season they do like changes to the rules and such, just like they do in real professional sports. But the options that pop up are some of the stupidest shit, to such an extent that I'm sitting here like, I just want to turn that function off, because none of these would actually make the game interesting or fun. Because it's stuff like remove the salary cap, change the shot clock to 40 seconds, remove goaltending as a rule, remove players being able to foul out,
Allow coaches to trade unused timeouts for pieces of candy.
allow coaches to jump onto the court and become an extra defender. Like, like what the fuck? These are so stupid.
It's hysterical. What a weird thing to put in the game.
I mean, it's simulation-y because that stuff does happen every season, but every season what they argue over are things that are like actually something to think about in terms of, hey, maybe that would enhance the game. Or things that used to be rules and maybe you want to bring them back. For instance, you used to be able to, well, there was a period in time, at least in the league, I think it only lasted for a few seasons before they got rid of it, but goaltending was like, okay, the ball hits the rim and anyone can make a play on the ball now. So that gets argued over every now and again because some people want to bring it back, and that was in the league for a few seasons. But I think on the whole, the game is better without it, because otherwise, big men would absolutely dominate because all they need to do is just have anyone get even close, and then just like they could just instantly yam it home.
I mean, didn't they change that because of Chamberlain?
I'll look up the history of it right now. History of the NBA goaltending rule.
Like, I think Wilt Chamberlain was dunking his free throws from the wall.
It was because of George Mikan.
Okay.
Prior to the high jumping 6'10" George Mikan, goaltending was not addressed because it was thought physically impossible.
That's hilarious. Were there, like, no tall people back then? What the hell?
For the most part.
Yeah, big country.
Yeah, like in the NBA, there's such a thing as offensive basket interference because of the whole goaltending thing. But in FIBA, there's not. So I think that's another reason the U.S. dominates international play. It's nice to see the Seattle Snoikes.
Apparently, they're going to be back next year. 2024 is going to be their inaugural season, supposedly. They're adding 2 expansion teams, Seattle and Vegas.
Well, I will believe it when I see it. However, I would love to see an expansion draft. I think would be very interesting. But one of my favorite visual things about going through the years and come back here is seeing the Spurs when they were in the Alamo Dome and they had they had more colors involved in their team instead of just black and white and silver. I like that aesthetic.
What, you're talking about,
And
like, the George Gervin days or something?
no, the early David Robinson days.
Ah.
They pretty much changed that aesthetic up just about the same time they drafted Tim Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch some of Shaq's crazy fucking dunks from way back in the day, he will fucking chaos dunk it. Let me see if I can. Shaq poster, David Robinson.
I remember his signature move was called the Black Tornado until people started saying that was racist.
There you go.
That was pretty funny.
That's in the Alamo Dome right there, and that's the Spurs. So their jerseys were still black and white, but that's what I'm saying is I like the paint where they had like the pinkish purple magenta kind of color, orange and blue.
Okay, I see. It's different. And Shaq always destroyed David Robinson whenever they played.
This is Shaq against Robinson. Drive, stop, slam, dunk. Wow.
Well, he
Here's because that was one of the lovely things about the Alamo Dome is with the different colors that they had available, they would change up the paint color every now and then. So this was another one they had. It was blue. They used the blue and the orange for the '96 All-Star game.
Oh, that one's not even on David Robinson. David Robinson's barely in the frame. Oh, okay, maybe this one. Yeah, okay, this one. And it really was unfair. I remember reading about how back then in basketball fantasy leagues, there would usually be like a rule for drafting Shaq. Like if you drafted Shaq, you had to forfeit a 6th-round pick because he was so broken for fantasy purposes. They had to come up with ways to not make him extremely OP.
Yeah, I buy it. Definitely. It kind of sucks. It kind of really sucks though playing through these eras Because there are 3 players who are not in the game who they refuse to have their likeness be in NBA 2K that really hurts the actual historical authenticity of the league with their absence. Charles Barkley, Chris Webber, and Rasheed Wallace.
What about Matt Araiza?
Heh. I mean, Charles is. I mean, it goes without saying. For his era, he was one of the best players in the league. So him not being there, the teams that he's on are not as good. And the Pistons can never be as good without Sheed. So
Yeah.
like they're nowhere near as competitive when you go to do your simulations, and without C-Web there, the Kings never become the Lakers' biggest rivals during the three-peat years, which
Yeah.
is just so
Can
heartbreaking.
you create a player using their ratings from like other 2K games, I wonder, and just throw
You
them
can't
in?
You can create players and you can introduce them into draft classes, but you can't introduce them into draft classes that the game already had established. So when they use the historical draft class, you can't fuck with it to put the guys that should be there, not that aren't in there, in there. But I mean, nothing's perfect, and this is already phenomenal. Probably. But see, the funny thing is, C-Web did agree to it, and they modeled they modeled him for this game. He's actually on the disc, on the data and all that. But they had to remove him a week before release because I guess legally there was something C-Web was supposed to do to acknowledge his consent to have his likeness in the game that he didn't get around to doing. So they had to pull him legally at the last minute.
They'll put him in as a
Uh,
DLC whenever he does it, I guess.
No, it'd have to be for 2K24 would be the next opportunity they'd have to do it. So they'd just be like, hey, could you not fuck this up this time? But
Man, so Dave Chappelle is at the Warriors game tonight. I wonder if LeBron is
interesting.
going to snub him.
Yes. Shaquille O'Stinky.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder still on the Lakers. The all-time
That boy's
fumble
dirty as hell.
back.
Pretty much. All right, let's see here. Oh my gosh. Shaq, the legend. All right.
I wonder if there will ever be another Shaq. You just need to win the genetic lottery a couple times, and we'll get another Shaq, but I guess they wouldn't be as effective in the modern NBA.
Yeah. Shaq was a perfect storm because he had the perfect basketball body to take advantage of the perfect basketball setup. Because we've seen people who have been physically as imposing for their role as Shaq, like LeBron. But will we ever see another guy that tall, that huge? I think we did. Dwight Howard when he was on steroids, but he wasn't able to dominate at the same level as Shaq because the game had changed so much.
Yeah.
Because it was funny back when Dwight was in Orlando and then in Houston, and he was either the man or at worst Robin, and Shaq was a commentator. He was routinely criticizing Dwight Howard and saying he needs to be averaging these numbers, and Dwight was averaging numbers that were superior to what Shaq said he needed to be averaging, and his team was still losing. And that's another thing, is that Shaq was surrounded by much, much greater talent than Dwight Howard was. If you put Dwight, and assume that Dwight isn't an egotistical fuck, because that's what blew up a lot of shit. But even then, the 2013 Lakers didn't work, because aside from Dwight not getting his way, everyone was old, so they kept getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you had like prime Steve Nash and prime Kobe Bryant paired up with Dwight, that team easily wins a championship. There's no question. But if you put Dwight in those same situations that Shaq was in, and he's 2009 to 2011 Dwight, which is like the 3-year peak Dwight, and there's no ego there, so that he doesn't fuck with shit. When Shaq was able to keep things semi-stable, even though he'd eventually blow things up, you know, he kept things going for a good amount of time. I think Dwight would be just as successful. He's not as good as Shaq. He's not as dominant as Shaq, but he still offers something that makes those teams just as competitive with everyone else that he had in there. I don't think he'd make the finals with the Magic the year that Shaq did, but I still think that Lakers team would three-peat, and I still think that Heat team would win the championship.
I mean, that Heat team that won that third title, that team had like 5 good players on it, and 3 of them were Ori, Fisher, and Fox. Like, that was a very shallow team. So I don't
You
know.
mean the
That
Lakers, the Lakers team that won in 2002?
Yeah, that team was like, they signed Mitch Richmond, and then he didn't do shit. Samaki Walker didn't do shit. Like, I don't know, man. That team sucked.
Yeah, those teams in 2002, there's a lot that can be said there. The real finals, of course, was the Western Conference Finals, and we all know that Tim Donaghy rigged the shit, because he literally said that he rigged it, and he was arrested for rigging games for the mob and was fired for rigging games, blah blah blah. So when you look at situations like Kobe elbows Bibby in the face and they call a foul on Bibby, you know, the Lakers were handed the championship that year by the refs. But that 2002 Nets team was good and competitive for that Eastern Conference, but it didn't matter who was coming out of the West. They were going to roll over that fucking Nets team. Because that
Oh,
almost
yeah.
exact same Nets team the year afterwards got fucking obliterated by the Spurs. And since the Kings were just better than the Lakers that year, but they got fucked, they'd have easily beaten that Nets team. Tragically, if the Jazz had actually managed to do it, Karl Malone would have a ring.
Mm-hmm.
And on and on. Because, I mean, Jason Kidd, you know, Hall of Famer, absolutely astounding fucking player. But when it comes right down to it, he was the only real star power that they had in terms of being able to impact the game at the level that you need to win a championship.
Yeah, like that Lakers team, their depth was really, really sad. I remember it was literally like a 5-man team. I, that Lakers front office during that Kobe Shaq era, they could have made things go so much better if they had just done a little bit better getting role players.
Fuck's sake. Me roast his bucket.
Like, I always thought that was one of the greatest, most amazing things Phil Jackson ever did. Actually winning a title with that 5-man team. Kobe and Shaq or Magic and Kareem. Well, Kobe and Shaq were both in their prime at about the same time. Magic and Kareem weren't. So if we're looking at it like that, it's got to be Kobe and Shaq. But if you're talking about like in a vacuum, like you get both as rookies, probably Magic and Kareem.
What I would say about Magic and Kareem, why they may end up being a better choice, is they work together better as teammates and they work together better as men. Shaq and Kobe are without a doubt the superior duo talent-wise, but Magic and Kareem could work together. Shaq and Kobe inevitably just blew up. They're butting heads too hard because their personalities are just so strongly opposed to one another that eventually they're just gonna bust up. It took Shaq years, even after they both retired, for them to quash their beef. He barely managed to do it before they died, and still, when Kobe passed, he still felt so much regret that he hadn't done it sooner, because he'd only had like maybe a season or two of them being at peace with one another.
Yeah. I can imagine. That must be difficult.
Because I mean, what were the first words out of Kobe's mouth when he won his 5th ring? That's one more than Shaq, and you can take that to the bank. The first thing he said after the Lakers won. By this point, he hadn't played with Shaq in over 6 years. And he still held on to that grudge. Because, I mean, that's just who Kobe is, you know, he just wants to be like, yeah, take that, motherfucker. So, like, I get it, but the first thing he said.
If they were able to get along, do you think they win like 10 championships in a row?
Well, 10 in a row, no, but I know what you're saying. Do they continue to be dominant and continue to win? And I think the answer is yes, especially considering Kobe's peak and the way that he... If Shaq was able to willingly take the side, the step back and let Kobe perform, and they continued to have Phil Jackson coaching and they continued to run the triangle, they remained a championship threat until probably when Shaq retired after the 2011 season.
Yeah, I mean,
They would probably win, I'd say 3 or 4 more during that time frame. If they managed to beat the Spurs, they would easily fucking clown the Cavs. First of all, if they were playing together better, I don't think they'd lose in 2004 either. Because, like, that was a big reason why they fucking lost. Is like they were actively being antagonistic towards one another and fighting each other.
well, also, Karl Malone got hurt. People kind of forget that about that series. Karl Malone got hurt, and they had to play Slata Metavenko at power forward, and it went really badly. And say what you will, but Karl Malone was a huge part of that Lakers team. He had a triple-double in a playoff game and everything.
Yeah. That's definitely true, too. There's a lot that goes into this stuff.
But yeah, Big Country, they definitely don't get Pau Gasol if Shaq stays, but they don't need Pau Gasol if Shaq stays.
Exactly. Because they also don't get Lamar Odom because that was part of the trade that sent Shaq to Miami. But exactly like Joker just said, they don't need Pau Gasol. They don't need Lamar Odom if Shaq stays, because the level that Shaq continued to play at, if he could play with Kobe, you only need to just grab guys who are able to function alongside those two, and they really could have done that, because other than Pau Gasol, they did manage to pick up plenty of guys who contributed.
Well, a team that has Kobe and Shaq is always going to be a super appealing team to go to if you're like a veteran who wants a ring. And every year they would have been able to do that.
Plus the fact that they're still the Lakers, plus the fact that they had that championship history and pedigree. You know, and Shaq remained dominant to a championship winning level into 2006 when he won a 4th championship. So there's still plenty of years. That's without Kobe. That's with sophomore. the third. Sorry, fuck, I'm tired. Dwayne Wade's third season. So exactly like Joker just said, a team that's got Kobe and Shaq staying together is extremely appealing for a lot of people to show up on. Lots of guys who contributed a hell of a lot to championship teams throughout that decade who ended up on those championship teams because they were trying to win. They could have just ended up on the Lakers instead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Robert Horry never would have left.
Derek
As an
Fisher never
example.
goes to Utah for his daughter, or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, that shit. Um,
I can't remember exactly what that was, but you remember the picture, right, of the Jazz fan? Look, when Fisher shooting free throws, putting his hand over his eye. Do you remember
oh,
that?
good lord. Turning back the clock right there. Good lord.
That's an all-timer, man.
Oh, man. There's a throwback right there.
And this commercial with
But
old Charles Barkley talking to young Charles Barkley freaks me out, man.
I'm doing a quick season with the Magic to try to draft Shaq, so that I can have that running at the same time as my LeBron franchise. So, going through the 1992 season real quick, here's a throwback name for you. Detlef Schrempf,
Oh, yeah. No, Detlef Schrempf was awesome. He was my favorite player.
winning Sixth Man of the Year. How about that?
Detlef Schrempf was wonderful.
Most Valuable Player, Michael Jordan. Rookie of the Year, Larry Johnson. Boo! Defensive Player of the Year, David Robinson. What a busted league that must have been.
Remember when Bill Simmons ranked Bill Walton ahead of David Robinson on his all-time great player list?
What a man. Alrighty. Really? Who's on that squad? How about that? Magic still playing with AIDS. You gotta love it.
Well, I
Hey,
mean,
that's an amazing point here. Magic doesn't get AIDS in 2K.
yeah, everybody's celibate.
Holy shit. That's amazing. Ugh. How about that? That
Ma-
ended up being dead on.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. In 2K, does Len Bias not die?
I can't say for sure because I think the furthest back you can go in time is after Len Bias had already died. Let me check.
Oh, okay.
Len Bias died in 1986. You might, because I think it's 1983.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was the 1984 NBA draft where Michael Jordan was taken, right?
I think so.
So the way that the eras work is that they start at the season where by the end of it, you would get the draft for uh, the three big era defining players: Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and LeBron James. So if you want to, even though the 1992 NBA draft is not as impressive as the 1996 NBA draft, Shaq changed the face of the league to such an extent that's like the defining era change. But they name them based off of who the guy who would come to dominate not just that year but in the years afterward was. So that first year, even though it's the Jordan draft, it's the Magic and Bird era. This year, even though it's the Shaquille O'Neal draft, it's the Michael Jordan era. And then in 2002, even though it becomes the LeBron James draft, it's the Kobe Bryant era. So this is pretty nice because it's 1992, and the finals is actually the Chicago Bulls versus the Portland Trail Blazers. And even though Charles Barkley isn't on the Phoenix Suns are still one of the best teams in the league.
Who do they have to make them one of the best teams in the league?
I'm checking right now. Jeff Hornacek, Dan Majorel, Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers, Tim Perry, Cedric Ceballos, Mark West, Richard Dumas, James Edwards, Kurt Rambis, Jared Mustaff, Warren Thompson, Trey Barnes, Rodney Jameson. So everyone that they have on the team except for Charles Barkley. So with Barkley, they become real championship contenders. Without, they'll just never get over the hump. And it sucks because that team is still so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how different this might have been. So, let's see if 2K Cheese will cause Jordan to lose. The answer is yes. Blazers in 7.
Oh,
Lamau.
really?
Yep, Clyde Drexler. Blazers in 7. What a fucking meme. So much for being the GOAT. Suck it, Jordan. Alright, player retirements. Oh wow, that's an amazing fucking thing. I don't know what it would have been before, but shot clock only resets when ball hits rim. That's pretty needed.
Otherwise, what? It just never resets? Oh, the air ball would reset it, you mean?
Probably any shot attempt, if I had to guess. But I mean, this is for the 1992 off season, so I was 1 year old when this happened. Okay. Alright, wish us luck that we actually win this draft lottery cheese.
Hey, Reggae. Did you break another bone, dude? You just broke one.
Well, now that's just enraging. In your head, in your head, someday.
Oh, okay, that's a little bit better, right, guy?
That's a spicy meatball. Okay, so we got to reload because, holy crap, we got jumped by 2 teams. So, worst record in the league. 3rd pick. Fuck you, draft lottery.
No. You didn't bribe David Stern enough.
I am going to be so mad if I find out that I went through all that shit and forgot to turn autosave off. Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to turn autosave off. Son of a bitch! Well, here's hoping someone other than Shaq goes 1st and 2nd.
That would be a hell of a meme. Who was even in that class?
Minnesota fucking motherfuckers. Yep, they took Shaq. Alonzo Mourning, 2nd. And next best player available is Christian Laettner.
Oh my god.
Son of Yeah, son of a bitch.
Well, that's a big fat reset.
Yeah, I am pretty enraged. Robert Horry's in this draft. That's a good name. But I'm gonna go back just to
Pretty good 1-2 of a draft, Alonzo Mourning and Shaq. And then they won a ring together 14 years later.
yeah, okay. So come down here. Yeah, I have the worst record in the league. 18-64. Motherfuckers, dude. The Sacramento Kings were 34-48, which was the 6th worst record in the league, and they fucking jumped me to get 2nd place. The Wolves tied for 3rd worst record, jumped me and got 1st. What the fuck, dude? The draft lottery is complete bullshit.
It's more rigged than the Pau Gasol trade.
Seriously. So now, because I forgot to turn off autosave, which is so annoying that you have to do that shit literally every single fucking time. Ugh. Why there can't just be settings that apply all across? Because why would you ever want autosave on with all the retarded shit that ends up happening all the time? Good lord. Let's try this again. Turn that autosave the fuck off. There we go.
Oh.
Well, at least that means we can reset for the Blazers meme of beating the Bulls and say that never happened.
Mm-hmm. What a meme.
God, I'm tired. I really wish I could go to bed already. I'm so mad I have to fucking redo this. Why is everyone getting hurt for 2 days? I'm so tired of this pop-up. Fuck. Alright, screw it. I'm just leaving the
You're
rotations
tanking.
as
You're
is.
tanking. Everyone's just getting hurt 2 days at a time.
Exactly.
Bowling for behave. Bowling for behave. Want to see you make a movie about bowling for behave. No! You mofo. What the hell? Oh, now I'm mad. Yes, I am mad now. That's fucking enraging. I
What
better be able
happened?
to get those back. I'm gonna be so mad if I lose those. Alright, Warriors up 13 with about 3 minutes left. I think this one's just about over.
Hooray!
We will have a Game 6 that may very well be decisive. So tomorrow we have Sixers Celtics, and then we have Nuggets Suns. Okay.
Now that's impressive. Back in the playoffs, Bulls Hawks in the first round goes to 5. Bulls Pistons in the second round goes to 7. Bulls Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they sweep the Celtics. Pretty funny.
Was that the Hawks team with Dominique Wilkins?
Yes. Yeah, they got Mo Cheeks, Stacey Augmon, Dominique Wilkins, Kevin Willis, Blair Rasmussen, and yeah, that's it. And then Pistons team 92 was 2 seasons removed from the repeat championship. That is the same Pistons team we all know and love: Isaiah Thomas, Joe DeMars, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman. Beast. All right. Bulls Blazers round 2. Let's go. Blazers swept the Bulls. Wow.
Blazers team even, I mean, like, who was on that Blazers team? That was Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
Who else on that team was good? Terry Cummings?
Terry Porter,
Oh, okay.
Jerome Kersey, Cliff Robinson, Danny Ainge, Lamau,
Yeah, that's not a great team. How is that team winning the title like that?
Kevin Duckworth, Buck Williams, Mark Bryant. Isn't that Kobe's dad? I'm just kidding.
What a meme.
Yeah, seriously. I am so shocked that the Bulls got fucking swept.
Well,
Oh
guys,
man,
you heard it here
that is
first. No matter what Snacks tries, he cannot stop the Blazers from becoming world champions. They cannot be denied. They're like Kobe in Colorado. They will not be denied what they want. Too soon?
based. Okay, so 2K thinks that Robert Parrish doesn't get sent to the Hall of Fame, but that's pretty funny.
I thought you were about to say Mo Williams, and I was like, what?
Soon. Okay, let's redo this fucking lottery. Horse shit. Once again, worst record in the league. This time we won 10 games. We got the 4th pick. Literally not even any of the lottery picks. What the fuck?
Is Jerome Kersey dead, right, guy? I didn't realize that.
I don't give a shit. Alright. Let's try this again. The last time I saved was before the finals. Let's see if actual basketball happens this time. Nope, Blazers win again in 6.
Wow. They will not be denied.
No, they won't. Alright. Draft Lotto round 2. Fuck you! The Kings again! Jumping me, son of a bitch.
I wonder if do you think there's a chance the programming is broken for the lottery? Like maybe they forgot to carry the 1 or something?
It'd make sense, because, like, this is why I hate the fucking lotto. You have the worst record, and the worst record by far, and you keep getting jumped. This is what happens in real life, too, and is the reason why a lottery sucks. Aside from the fact that it just makes it easy for the league to rig it for whatever reason they want. If you take it at face value, all it actually does is just punish bad teams for being bad and reward good teams for being bad. Bulls finally win this time. I guess that means we're going to win the lottery. Take it from the Blazers in 6. Pippen Finals MVP, even funnier. Oh god, I love 2K sometimes.
That is phenomenal. All right, Warriors win.
Yay. Here we go. Yes! Finally! Alright, going down in history. Orlando Magic, first overall pick. Finally, we win the lottery when we're supposed to. So it's going down in history that Pippen stole the Finals MVP from Jordan. That is too fucking hilarious.
Finals MVP, Andre Iguodala. Corporate
Pretty
wants you
much.
to look at these two pictures and tell us what's the difference. They're the same picture.
Unironically. The Orlando Magic are now on a clock. Swerve, we're taking Christian Laettner first overall. The Orlando Knicks.
Crazy thing is, Shaq actually played 3 years in college. Today, if he came around a few years later, he wouldn't have even gone to college, would he? He would have just gone straight to the pros.
Yes, and he came out and said, and both he and LSU, which was even funnier, were retroactively fined for what they did. Because Shaq, this is long after he'd retired from play, he said, yeah, the only reason I went to LSU is because they paid me, and they gave me the best bribe to go sign with them. Which, I mean, duh, because like that's the only reason any player goes to any college. Is because even though they're not supposed to, it's all like, dude, there are millions of dollars at stake. Of course they're going to.
Yeah.
So LSU just gave him the best bribe. Now, you're right, because if it had been a few seasons later where they take people from out of high school, Shaq was already the top prospect in the nation before he even went to college. So if it's the question of the couple of cars and like 6 figures that LSU gave him under the table versus being paid actual millions for being in the NBA, yeah, he'd have just jumped straight to the league. And almost nothing would have been different.
Yeah.
Other than, of course, what team he would have ended up on, because it would have been a team that was bad 3 seasons previously. I don't know who was bad in 1989, though, so.
Interesting. I mean, whoever it was, he obviously would have left them immediately to go to the Lakers, given how quickly he made tracks out of Orlando, right?
Yes. And even with Orlando making the fucking finals. And it's not like he lost because his teammates let him fuck down. It's because Hakeem Olajuwon dominated him. Let's be real. The reason he went to the Lakers is because he wanted to be in steel.
Which one? Which was the one that I saw? No, I saw Kazam.
Yeah.
That's the one that I saw when I was a kid. I remember watching it on the Disney Channel.
Wow. Okay, talk about maximizing value. We don't have any other first round picks, and we have no second round pick. That was our only draft pick, and we took Shaq.
Maybe you had to forfeit the other picks because you got Shaq.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know what the Orlando Magic's draft situation was like beforehand. They probably had traded those picks. You know what? I'm not going to sign Shaq. I am going to decline his option, and I will not sign him as a rookie. I'm going to leave him as an unrestricted free agent to whoever wants him.
Man, imagine.
That's some shit a guy would do, like the executive would do right before he fucking pulls the trigger. He'd be like, my only regret is not being around to see the fallout from this.
No, it'd be like when George Costanza was trying to get fired by the Yankees to get hired by the Mets. He's trying to get fired by the Magic and hired by the Lakers, so he's just going to let the Lakers sign him.
Exactly. Classic. Qualifying offers to no one, because we have no free agents or anything. Which cap space do we have? Wow. Larry Bird's player model is fucking horrifying.
I mean, Larry Bird in
Just
real
gonna
life
hop.
is kind of horrifying.
You don't even know, dude. Let me see if I can find a picture I could send you.
Right, first try. Let's go. Wish I
Okay,
had
unfortunately
rooms.
I can't show you, because when I Google NBA 2K23 Larry Bird face, all of it is just PC mods to make his face look better because his normal one looks like shit. Ugh.
206. I never liked The Office. Not my thing. Not a fan.
It's kind of crazy when you're playing in the franchise and you go far enough back, because you start seeing a lot of names that you recognize as coaches,
Like Darvin Ham.
like Scott Skiles, Avery Johnson. Uh, Seen some other guys, but Kurt Rambis, Tyronn Lue.
I knew.
I was actually watching a video the other day. It was LeBron James rookie year highlights, and he had a phenomenal block on Ty Lue in a game during his rookie season. And someone pointed that out. They said, no wonder he had no respect for him when he was actually coach. Because all LeBron had to do was look at him and say, I fucking took your lunch money in my rookie year. Don't tell me anything about how to play basketball, kid.
I mean,
Like,
I wouldn't have any respect for Ty Lue as my coach either. I mean, goddamn.
especially in the situation, like all they did was continue to use the sets they got from Blatt. They literally just continued to use Blatt's playbook. Almost all the assistants were the same, so they just kept the same system. The only thing they did was just use him as the scapegoat for why they lost the year previously,
Mm-hmm.
and then put Ty Lue in there because Blatt was kind of doing like Spo and Pat Riley were, which is that they said, you know what, LeBron, you're a player for our team. You're not the owner of the team. You're not the coach of the team. So you got to respect our decision making. LeBron said no. So he went to Gilbert. He got Blatt fired, and then he got Ty Lue hired because Ty Lue was LeBron's boy.
Yeah.
The same reason Tristan Thompson is on the Lakers right now is the reason why Ty Lue became Cavs coach after David Blatt got fired. It's just because LeBron is a sack of shit.
I feel like Blatt still got done dirty. Like, somebody should have hired him to be a head coach. Like, the Timberwolves probably would have been better off with him. Like, you could have put him on, like, the Rockets instead of Kevin McHale.
There was a huge amount of interest in Blatt after he got fired, but he said fuck this and he went back because he coached. Well, first he's Jewish, and he was at the time he got poached to coach in the NBA. He was coaching in the Israeli basketball league,
Mm-hmm.
so he just went back because he was like, you know what, fuck this.
Yeah.
Hard to blame him. Yeah, there's a ton of coaches in this free agent list for point guards. Scott Skiles, Doc Rivers, Scott Brooks, Avery Johnson. Good lord.
What if you found David Blatt as a player?
Would be funny.
Greg Popovich is a player.
Wow. The salary cap was so much lower in 1992 because I only have $955,000 of cap room, and I thought, man, that really isn't a lot. Like, I must have gotten fucked in my cap space or something. What the hell's going on? But fucking let me go to all positions. Larry Bird is a free agent, and he's expected 5.5 million.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh, having almost $1 million in cap space means I could probably sign somebody who's pretty fucking good.
At least playable, yeah. Whoa.
All right. I'm not signing any of these guys because they just suck.
I mean, I imagine that when you have that little amount of money, you probably just need to sign somebody who can play, like, 12 minutes a game or something and can help, but isn't going to be a big difference maker. Now, to my recollection, the Orlando Magic won the lottery the year after they got Shaq as well, right? That's when they got Chris Webber and traded him for Penny Hardaway.
Let me check. 1993 NBA draft. The 1993 NBA draft took place on June blah blah blah. Palace of Auburn Hills drafted some talented players at the top, but injuries and personal problems hurt many of them. Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway, Allen Houston, Jamal Mashburn were all stars. Blah. Despite having the lowest odds, the Orlando Magic won the first pick in the 1993 NBA draft lottery. It was the second year in a row the Magic won the draft lottery. The Magic drafted Chris Webber with the number 1 overall pick, but only minutes later executed a blockbuster trade. The Magic traded Webber to the Golden State Warriors for their first round pick, number 3 overall Penny Hardaway, and 3 of Golden State's future first round draft selections.
Yeah, see,
Good
that's
memory.
not you're not going to be able to get that to happen now that you have Shaq. You're not going to be able to get the number 1 pick the next year. Which is
Well,
too
they did
bad.
have the lowest odds, and they did get 2K Magic Cheese. So all I'd have to do is just restart over and over again, which would be hilarious. But I don't really feel like pairing Shaq up with Penny, because aside from the fact that Penny was constantly getting hurt, I would rather just surround Shaq with excellent shooters.
I mean, Chris Webber's kind of the perfect power forward to play with Shaq, I feel like, because he's
But
a
he's
good shooter and a good passer. And
also
I
not in this
always,
game.
yeah, it always made me mad that the Magic traded that pick. That would have been so much fun, Webber and Shaq together.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been a formidable team on account of the fact that those were the 2 best players in the 2002 Western Conference Finals.
Like
Have
maybe that team is so good, Shaq stays in Orlando. Think about that. That would have been crazy.
Well, I mean, considering that plenty of teams were actually winning or at least competing for championships with just two really talented big men, like the David Robinson, Tim Duncan Spurs, it's definitely in the possibility. You know, right now I'm trying to see, it's it fits in with the era. There are so few good 3-point shooters. It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm basically trying to use all my cat money, just trying to sign every guy who's actually at least a B
God,
in
that reminds
3-point
me of the
shooting.
time we did the what was the thing they used to do on NBAB where a bunch of people would draft all-time fantasy teams?
The Ultimate Fantasy Draft.
The UFD, yeah, the one I did, I drafted shit, who was it? Hold on. I got to look this up now. This is
If
it
I
was
remember right, I won the UFD 3 years in a row, and
mhm,
so I just stopped because I was like, okay, I'm bored. Like, you guys suck.
yeah. Okay.
I
Oh,
had
I drafted Fred Hoy.
you drafted Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah, because there was one year he shot like 48% from 3, and I drafted him for that year because that was the year where you could only have like X number of field goal attempts on your team,
Right.
and I needed somebody who only took like 3 shots that year, and I
That
picked
that oh man, that was one of my favorite years that we won. The limit we had is that you could only have so many MVPs. It was a 3-year peak. Uh, yeah, it was a 3-year peak, and you could only do so many MVP wins, All NBA selections, and yeah, et cetera, things like that. Um, so a lot of people were trying to space them out to create the deepest team that they could. And then my team, we finally get to pick, and we had at the end of the snake draft, we had the last pick of the first round and the first pick of the second round. We just took Shaq and Kobe both in their primes. We were just like, we don't care if the rest of our team sucks. This is literally prime Jacoby. We're just gonna out talent everyone else,
well, that's
and
only
that's
two
exactly what.
combined. That's only two combined MVPs. That's not even that bad.
And that's what was funny is exactly what you said. According to that list, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" So like everyone was like, from that moment on, everyone was trying to panic. They were like, "Oh shit, what do we do? We gotta find some way to try to create a more competitive team." But a lot of people were really spoiled by the Warriors' recent championship win because I think this was 2015 we were doing this.
Mhm.
So they were trying to create like this amazing like Curry was unironically getting picked in a 3-year peak draft. So Curry's unironically getting picked. And against all odds, when it came time for my team to pick again, Larry Bird was still on the table. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's imagine a team playing the triangle with Kobe Bryant in his peak, Larry Bird in his peak, and Shaquille O'Neal in his peak. Prime Jacoby plus Larry Bird in the triangle. I'm all like, I don't care if my bench is a bunch of stiffs. You're literally going to get out talented. You can't win. Like
I
it's
mean,
over.
Shaq, Kobe, 3 decent role players, and 8 stiffs won the title in 2002.
Right. So as soon as we picked me and my co-GM, as soon as we picked Larry Bird, pretty much everyone else just gave up because like they were still trying to create the best team that they could, and they were like, okay, everyone's just playing for second now. The snacks one.
Mhm.
And it was hilarious because when it came time to do the voting, yeah, they're like, yeah, that fucking prime Jacoby with Larry Bird, you just get out talented. There's just no way you're gonna stop him. Oh man, it was hilarious. My favorite year is Slam University, though.
Like the year I did UFD, it was really important to get good players with low field goal attempts. So like 08 KG was actually really really good to get. He might have even been like the number 1 pick that year. I can't remember. But I took over a team midway that had already drafted Hakeem Olajuwon and James Harden. which I didn't like that much, but I did what I could with it.
Are you good and prepared, young chum? The festival begins. Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. General Radahn is cursed ever to wander.
So the cutscene locks at 30 FPS, even though gameplay's at 60.
Inside
Interesting.
by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone.
Interesting.
Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog.
Oh, Landon, is this a boss? Okay. Won't be surprised if I'm not able to do him.
Sky.
I'm in an area that might be above my level. We'll see.
But now, we must make merry. Oh, gathering of champions! The revels begin!
I'm not really sure how far I am into this. It's not a game that has a really firm narrative. It's super open world, so it's never clear how far you are, but I think I'm more than halfway through. But not by much.
Find the field of battle.
Should I bring Scott Skiles back?
Even divested of his and howling at the sky.
Wasn't
I'm
he the guy who
thinking
had
yes.
30 assists in one game?
Yes. Yes, he was.
Hey, he might be able to break his own record with Shaq.
I don't have the cap space for this. Is something that actually sucks. When you are just starting a season for 2K, even though things are taking place and all this, when you're doing the era, like it's not the beginning of history in existence, it essentially is for the game. So what this means is that in situations of like restricted free agency and bird rights and all this kind of shit, you're kind of shit out of luck. So I had the same problem when I was doing the Cavaliers franchise because I wanted to keep Boozer and have Boozer, Ilgauskas, and LeBron as my front court going forward. I'm like, that's pretty good for that time period. Hell yeah, that's fucking amazing. So between that and having Mo Williams and Leandro Barbosa to just catch passes and shoot threes, I was like, this is pretty good. But I couldn't keep Boozer because even though in real life he was a restricted free agent that season, and they kept him on for a year. They signed a 1-year deal, and then he would go on to be a restricted free agent again. No, wait, it was a 1-year deal, and then he'd be an unrestricted free agent. And there was supposed to be a situation where Cleveland had secured him long term, but Boozer flipped everyone off and said, no, fuck this, I want more money. So he left to Utah.
Didn't he promise the Cavs GM, like, hey, let me out of my restricted tag, I promise I'll re-sign with you guys? So they did.
That's what the Cavs said. Boozer himself says that never happened.
Okay. Dude, how bad of an indictment is that on the city of Cleveland? You have a chance to play with LeBron James, and you're like, no, let me out of here. I want to go to Utah.
Yeah, seriously. But because all that shit happened in real life, I was like, well, I could keep him as a restricted free agent and then just match any contract he signs to get over the cap. Because Cleveland, they didn't have the ability to match the offer that Utah was giving because they were way over the cap already. So I was like, well, what I can do is, because of how bird rights and all that shit works, is I can go over the cap if I have to secure the guy who my team drafted. So I should be able to keep Boozer. But that's not kicking in the logic here, so I was forced to just let Boozer go. There was nothing that I could do. Which really upset me. The only other thing I'd be able to do would be to negotiate a trade and then try to force the trade to just get Boozer back, but that's dumb.
I mean, one dumb game mechanic deserves another, right?
Yeah, but I was also sitting there like, you know what? I could just get somebody else. Because like my long-term plan, Shane Battier becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2 seasons. I was just gonna invent small ball a few years early, just move LeBron to power forward, bring in Battier at small forward, and then just keep going with the lineup I have now. Because my power forward right now is the last season of Tony Kukoc, or however you pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
He's 35. I'm like, he's not gonna go for much longer. But, ugh. There's a ton of guys who are guards who are really good at shooting mid-range shots, but awful at shooting three-point shots. Because in the 90s, no one cared. No one practiced.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they were playing in the modern NBA, you know they'd practice threes until they were good at them.
Yeah.
Like, could you
Yeah, I'm
imagine
looking at it-
Draymond Green in the 90s? If he played in the 90s, he never would have shot a three in his life.
Right. Like I'm looking at this player right now as an example, unrestricted free agent I could sign. Young kid who went undrafted, I think is why. The name Antoine Paul. He's 18 years old. He has an A mid-range rating, B minus 3-point rating.
What's his
He's
three-point rating?
he's 5'9". He's 5'9". He's a point guard. What'd you say?
What's his three-point rating?
B minus.
Okay. Hey, B minus
That-
ain't that bad. Could be worse.
I said D.
Oh, okay. I heard B.
D
Okay.
minus.
That's pretty bad.
So A minus mid range, D minus 3-point. So it's like, holy shit. Why?
He's like Tim Duncan. That's kind of what Tim
Essentially.
Duncan probably had. Like, he was good mid-range, but he never... Like, if he played today, he would have just started taking one more step out.
Yeah. Ugh. All right.
No, I think Purdy sucks. Purdy is a noodle arm. No! Oh, come on. I had that. Wait a minute. Did AD get hurt at the end of the game? I think I missed it, David. Did AD go down? I don't think I saw that. Wow, okay.
Holding on to his knee, and down.
Holding on to his fraudulent MVP trophy and down. Haha, I'm just kidding. AD would never win an MVP.
Based.
He left in a wheelchair? Man, I didn't notice that. He did the Paul Pierce? He pulled a Paul Pierce, which can mean many different things now. Pulling a Paul Pierce can have many definitions in modern day. The thing is, Anthony Davis, like, goes down with an injury in every game he plays, so even if I saw it, I would have just assumed he'd be back in 20 minutes.
this is, for the most part, a terrible three-point shooting team. We've got to get better.
Start letting Shaq shoot threes. He'll
Yeah.
learn.
Now that's just base.
Whoa, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, shit. Whoa! Really? One hit KO.
Alrighty. So I am all set and ready to go now. I am gonna go to bed.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, take it easy.
Mm-hmm. Be right back, everybody. Alright, we are back. I think we're going to get this one. This one seems doable. His meteor attack is a pain in the ass, but... Yeah, Butler played like Ben Simmons. He's probably not healthy, which sucks. Oh, shit. What do I do? Oh, shit. I'm alive. How am I alive? I have no idea how I survived that. I must have barely enough HP. Okay, that's really annoying. Oh, come on! The hell was that? What was that attack? That was weird. 1 second. Hmm. Probably him being a drama queen. I'm sure he's fine. Oh, nice. I didn't know that would happen. Simeon. Simeon. Papa Vera. Papa Vera. This seems doable, you just need to get the right run where things just break your way a little bit. This seems totally doable. Get... Oh, wait. No, drink 2, you dumbass. Thank you. Okay, so I have full health, so even if he hits me here, I should survive. He didn't even hit me. No, 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 no! Oh, man. He goes nuts at the end there's the problem. Fuck you, motherfucker. Alright. I mean... My teammates weren't doing shit there either. My teammates are pieces of shit. See something. Okay. I can block pretty much all the damage. So that's kind of nice. Man, the Little Mermaid looks like ass. The underwater scenes look like some serious... Good lord. I'm looking at the commercial. That is some ass right there, man. It looks like it was made by a 5th grader on their Mac. Like Mac Studio Pro or whatever it's called. Landed on Twitch. I think my record's like 30. Dude, I can't even get into this. Okay, there we go. He's like protecting his nether regions really well. Okay, I am really getting sick of that one. Is he riding? It almost looks like he's riding like a tiny little unicycle. That's actually what it kind of looks like. Shit, 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 shit. No, I hate those fucking things. No! God, that is a 1-2 combo that I don't know how to handle. I don't know how to avoid those, and then he basically has a free one-hit kill on you. Boy, okay. Where is he? Jesus, what the hell was that? That was disgusting. If that hit me, I would have been so mad. I dodged it by pretty much a fluke. Holy shit, he's almost dead. I should just run away and let my teammates do it. Eh. Whatever. I got you. Alright, we did it. We killed a demigod. Wait, that was a shard bearer. Nice. I didn't know that was a shard bearer. Okay, so I don't know how many shard bearers I've beaten, but obviously we're doing good things. Thank you, Landon. See you around. Tomorrow night's going to be even more fun. I'll be playing a brand new game tomorrow night. A red mark was made on the map for what? Yes, he sucked. Sure you can, Austin. You should be able to, honestly.
What a sick way to fight.
Okay, so I only died to him like 3 times.
Baradan, and you, and then a falling star. Right before our eyes. I can't fathom how Radan was holding back something of that scale. He was a living legend. If ever I saw one.
What the heck are you doing, dude?
It was a one hit was all it took to craft that, and as such,
Don't worry about it, dude. You're a jar.
as luck would have it, there's if I can just squint, who could expect any less from the just you wait.
I don't... Window. I think the Titans might cut him, man. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling. Yes. I mean, Austin, at a certain point when you're playing Madden, you just kind of figure out all the little tricks. And then you'll just always win. That's what I did, and I was playing all Madden. I was playing all Madden, and I won every game by like 6 touchdowns. Because I had figured out all the ways to cheese the AI, and there was really nothing they could do. I lost one game in a 30-year franchise. And I lost that one game because my quarterback got hurt, I didn't have a good backup, and my defense blew a 4-touchdown lead, including a final play of game Hail Mary. So that's what it took for them to win a game in overtime. But eventually you just kind of figure out what plays always work. You just figure out the tells for when the play is gonna work.
Well, I took you for dinner. No matter, it's all out your arms.
Greetings, are you here for spirit? I can hear it from the howling and what you should keep your I know you're strong. I can hear it from the howling. You should keep your I know you're
Yeah. Oh. Hey, I like Mac Jones. They traded for him too. Why would you? They traded for Jacob Martin in the middle of a terrible season, and then cut him. Brilliant. Oh, I assume that Peyton is deferring to Vance Joseph on the defense. But yeah, maybe Vance Joseph thinks that. Vance Joseph sucks, by the way. Hey, Striking Blue. No. Last 2 nights ago, I was raging. Tonight's been chill. I fought a boss. I died like 3 times, and then I beat him. That's, not that bad. So, no raging yet, Striking Blue, tonight. We're doing good. Like, that could end, like, I think there is a scenario where Peyton does save the day and Wilson has a decent season and all that. And then Vance Joseph just ruins the defense, so the Broncos still aren't very good. I think it's really good, Striking Blue. I like it a lot. How do I get down there? Oh, boy. I don't know. Can I survive? Maybe. Austin, I think that, you know, winning close games is just something you pick up over time. Once you learn all the game mechanics. Okay, that was dumb. I like all the Souls games. Some more than others, but I like all of them. Sekiro's my favorite, though. Sekiro, I think, will always be my favorite FromSoft game. I don't think a game's going to be able to top Sekiro. That seems like a sucker trap to me. Yeah, I have an icon down there. Oh, no! Okay, good. I'm alive. Get off the horse! Unfortunately, tonight's going to be the last night for a few days where I can play Elden Ring. So, hopefully, I can make good progress. Okay, nice. Mhm. Yeah, you can cheese tight ends really easily in Madden. Older Maddens. When you have fast tight ends, you just send them. And it's really hard for the CPU to do anything about it. I remember in Madden, you used to be able to design your own plays, and then eventually they took it out. I don't know if they ever put it back. So, Snacks the other day got NBA 2K, the new NBA 2K that just came out, I think. I mean, the most recent one that came out, and he actually really likes it. And he says it seems like 2K is actually working hard on making a good product again. So, I'm hoping maybe Madden will start doing that, and maybe the next Madden will actually be good. And if it is actually genuinely like good and well made and polished, maybe I'll get it and stream it. People would love that. Like 2K had been crap. Yeah. Maybe Tatum just isn't the top tier superstar. Maybe he's just not good enough to be the best player on a championship team or something. So apparently, because both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum made All NBA this year, they're both eligible for contracts of over $300 million. So there's no way the Celtics can keep both. So basically, the Celtics kind of have to trade one of them this offseason, unless they just want to commit their entire salary cap to two players. So I think they're probably going to trade Jaylen Brown, I guess. Dragon Blue, I like the draft a lot. I'm not ready to say that I love it yet, but I think I could love it as long as we use the players appropriately. But we're going to need time to figure that out. But apparently, like, they've qualified for contracts that combined would be over $620 million. So man, what a disaster this could end up being. The Celtics get that ridiculous trade haul from the Nets. for a couple of washed up players, and they only make the finals once and lose it. And now they might have to split everybody up because they can't keep both probably. And whoever they lose, that's you can't just replace that guy easily. What a disaster. Like, they should have been winning multiple titles with that trade haul. Did you hear that, Boston? Formidable. Well, it's not really about Woolen. I think that this team is just sick of having a shutdown corner every year almost. I mean, we tend to we've always had shutdown corners. It feels like since Carroll got here, at least one. And then they never get thrown at because the other guy gets picked on. I think we just want that guy who can be like really good on the other side, so that way they can't pick on the other guy. They have to throw at Woolen now, or Witherspoon. I think they're just tired of messing around with having only one elite corner because it's so easy to bypass. I mean, you need things to break your way for that strategy to work, David, I think. Like, I see games all the time where one team runs all over the other team, but they can't convert on third downs because they can't throw the ball, so they still don't win. We just need to... Like last year's Panthers game was an example of us losing a game to a team because we never made them even have to throw the ball, really. They just ran. And we were so inept at stopping it that they never had to really pass. This year we need to be a little better than that, but you just have to force that situation a few times. In theory, and you can turn the game in your favor. I think that's kind of what we're going for here. Ooh! I need one of those. He's way better. The heck? There we go. I can't believe Bosa didn't throw a fit about not getting paid this offseason, by the way. Maybe they're going to pay him soon, but I'm surprised if Bosa actually goes into the season without having gotten paid. He just won Defensive Player of the Year. He should probably, like, make sure he gets paid coming off that. There's no way they're going to lose Bosa. Like, they're not that, like, that's not the guy you lose. You lose everyone else to make sure you can keep Bosa. I think so. Did the Niners have the worst draft in the NFL, by the way? I read a lot of draft articles today. Seemed like that was the general consensus. Most websites actually thought the Cardinals had an amazing draft, which I didn't initially feel like they did, but maybe they did. Yeah, let's go with it. I'm good, Marshall. I'm good. I wonder if there's a boss around here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, if it maybe it was only a reach by a couple picks, and if it's only by a couple picks, then whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. That's the shit thing out of every fucking. Also, I was working on a video for tomorrow, and I was really surprised when I looked at it, but the Falcons are doing an amazing job at building around whoever their future QB is, whoever it ends up being. Like, the receivers suck, but they have one of the best tight end rooms in the league. I think they have the best running backs in the league, and their offensive line is really good. So if they can pick up even like maybe two good receivers, that might be the best situation for a QB in the NFL. Especially with Arthur Jones or whatever his name is at coach, because he was the OC for the Titans. Like, if that Falcons team can find the right quarterback, I think they've done a phenomenal job at setting him up for success. Now, granted, they still have really bad receivers, but I think they have the best running back room in the league, which I didn't expect to think going into it. Bijan, Algier, and Cordarrelle. That's pretty awesome, I think. Well, Kyle Pitts is a tight end, but they also have Jonnu Smith, who's an excellent blocking tight end. So I think they have the best tight... They might... It's at least a top 3 tight end room in the NFL, I think. I mean, yeah, Kyle Pitts has to prove himself, but even if you're assuming he loses a little something because of the injury. Yeah, I don't love the pick for the Falcons either, David, because they were already so good rushing, but it does give them a hell of a strength. I don't know if Ritter's the guy, but he could be. Is Mariota still on the Falcons, by the way? Okay. They let him go. Alright, I guess they're just going to rock with Desmond Ritter. That'll be cool. I like Ritter. I'm not super optimistic, but I like Ritter. But, like, let's say the Falcons suck again this year because Ritter sucks. And then next year, the Falcons can draft Marvin Harrison Jr. That is a dream scenario for a quarterback. You get to throw to Drake London, Marvin Harrison Jr., hand off to Bijan and Tyler Algier, and Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts. That is OP. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning where I talk about what teams are doing the best job of putting a supporting cast around their quarterback on offense. Because I think the Seahawks are basically right at the top. And I was looking at all these other teams for the video. And I was like, I actually think the Falcons are doing some good stuff here. They're close. No, I haven't seen Guardians 3. I know what happens in it, though. I read spoilers because I don't think I'm going to see it in theaters. I think I'm going to wait for Indiana Jones. Um, I'm really surprised there's no boss here. Did I miss a boss? Yeah, I do think the Eagles are number one. Although they only really have one viable tight end, I will say that. But I do think they're number one. But as near as I can tell, the Seahawks are in the top four. At least. Probably top three. Like the Eagles, the Niners, the Seahawks. I think those are like the top teams. Because as near as I can tell, when I did all the math, we have the second best receivers, and then we're right around 10 with our running back room, tight end room, and offensive line. Offensive line, I may have gotten a little. I may have jumped the gun on. I don't know. But I do think we can have like the 12th best offensive line in the league this year. It can be like above average, bordering on good. PFF ranked every offensive line in the NFL and said we were 20th. And if we're 20th this year, that would be very disappointing, I think. That would basically be we didn't improve at all. But looking at it, well, the other thing that it made me start thinking about is the fact that if Waldron and Gino both don't have really big years because the situation is so good, they could both get punted out really easily. Like, it really highlights how much of a prove-it year this is for Gino because he's on that contract where you can get out of it. If you give him this situation and he doesn't have a really good year, then I think he'll be on his bike. Most hopeless situation in the NFL? I don't think any situation's truly hopeless. Like, a few months ago I would have said Texans, but now they've got two super blue chippers. Maybe the Browns. I'm going to say the Browns. Okay, I really don't want to go in there and fight a boss because the save point is way back there. Yeah, they have Chubb, but Chubb came into the league the same year as Rashad Penny. He's not going to be around much longer, and they have a fully guaranteed contract on Watson. Like, the Browns... I think the Browns have to be the most hopeless. Now that I think about it, that's actually kind of an easy pick. If you were going to point out something the Browns have, point out Myles Garrett. That's a guy who's actually, like, you know, deserving of it. Okay. So... is there really no grace around here? Fudge. That's annoying. So I'm going to have to run all the way here every time I want to fight this boss. Annoying. Generally, this game is giving you a ton of spots of grace. So, I don't know. I feel like I missed it. Cardinals had a good draft, though, honestly. And they just cleaned house. That feels a little more... I'm a little more optimistic about that. Yeah, there's no Grace. Son of a bitch. Okay, so... Wait a minute. Where am I? Am I like in some kind of like dark world or something? Is it because it's evening? No, no, this is the normal map. What? Well, this is confusing. Okay, let's do this. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's like I'm trapped in an alternate dimension. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I can't teleport to any of the normal places. Honestly, Sam Darnold might be better than Garoppolo, and Garoppolo almost won the Super Bowl, so I don't even really believe that. Like, Darnold might be as good as Garoppolo. I think Darnold has a bigger arm. Yeah, Debo has really taken his level of saltiness towards the Niners to a pretty, I don't know what you would call it, a pretty shitty level. Like, his bitterness towards that team is, like, kind of getting unhealthy almost. What the hell? Niners team has always been like that. I remember Frank Gore and Mike Crabtree acting like complete jackasses after they lost the Super Bowl to the Ravens. And Harbaugh too. Which was really disappointing because that's his brother he lost to. But anyway, I'm probably going to get out of here pretty soon, guys. Thanks for hanging out. But I'm not really sure what to do here. I don't know how to get out of here. And I can't teleport out. But I hope you guys had fun. Yes. Oh.
Well, I took you for no matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arm.
Okay, so yeah, I'm confused. I don't know how this works. Okay, so, well, while we're here, let's try to get one last level up in. I don't post on Reddit very much. Barely ever. Not, I generally do not enjoy Reddit very much. Okay, actually, let's go to a different place and grind. I do a little shit posting on Reddit. I have an account, but I just occasionally I'll ask for like help with like a piece of hardware that I have that isn't working, and sometimes I'll just troll and make a dumb shit post, but it's not very useful. Should I make a Seox Brendan Nelson subreddit? I kind of feel like the Discord removes the need for that. Oh, Jesus. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I'm asking for trouble a little bit with the Discord. Maybe I should have a Telegram. On Telegram, they truly do not care what you do, as near as I can tell. And it's definitely not a Fed trap. Discord might be. Yeah. My anti-Semitic friend used to use Telegram a lot because he could get away with it over there. He'd never get banned. He posted so many variants of the Happy Merchant on Telegram. I think I've seen all of them. You don't know what the Happy Merchant is? How do you not know who the Happy Merchant is? There's no way in hell we have a better running back room than Atlanta. No way in hell. They have 3 guys who could legitimately get like 1,000 rushing yards in one season. Bijan will probably be the best running back in the league in the next couple years. And Tyler Allgeier's legit too. He had 1,000 yards last year. Remember, they were I think they were the best running team in the league last year without Bijan. So, adding Bijan to already maybe the best running backs is kind of crazy. Well, it won't matter as much if they don't get a quarterback, of course, but that's besides the point. Everyone leave me alone. Oh, I was taking bleed. Fudge. Okay. Ken Walker doesn't have anywhere near the contact balance of Bijan, for one. And also, K9 kind of sucks on short yardage because he runs indecisively. If Bijan lives up to expectations, he's going to be, like, one of the best running backs of his era. K9 isn't going to do that. Like, I think that Bijan could be like Adrian Peterson good. There's no way in hell K9 is going to be Adrian Peterson good. I mean, K9 went in the second round for a reason. We're comparing him to a bunch of guys who went, like, top 10 or borderline top 10. It's probably a mistake. There's no way K9 has the potential of those guys. Those guys are a different breed. Bijan is such a good receiver, he could probably play receiver in the NFL. K9, it can't do that. Oh, shit. I didn't realize... Fuck. Why did I do that? That was stupid. Outside of Bijan, who's a better running back than K9? I mean, Saquon Barkley's probably still better. And so is Derrick Henry, I think. I mean, I don't know. Derrick Henry might be about washed up. But for the moment, you'd probably say Derrick Henry. And, let me think. Who else? Christian McCaffrey's probably still better. As much as I do think McCaffrey's going to break at some point. Alright, I'm going to take a run at this boss real quick just to see what he is. And honestly, I mean, who knows at this point? I think Brees Hall was better coming out of college than K9. Now Brees Hall's had a major injury now, but I did think Brees Hall was the best running back in that class. I'm not going to say he's better than K9 because he hasn't really done anything yet, but I do actually think Brees Hall was probably better at the time of the draft. Alright. What is this? Okay, you're not fooling me. This is definitely a boss fight. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a mimic. I think there's one team that has a better receiver trio than we do. Who was it? Fuck, I was just looking at this chart. It's the... Hold on. Hold on, let me stop doing this fight in a minute, and then I'll figure out who it was, who I thought was a little bit better. Not Miami, because they only have 2 guys. Not Philly, because they only have 2 guys. I think that's like 3 and 4, though. Oh, Cincinnati. Cincinnati has better receivers than we do, for sure. Cincy's by far number 1, but I think we are number 2. Yeah, Cincinnati has Boyd, Jamar Chase, and Higgins. That's got to be better than us. How is it not better than us? Jamar Chase is significantly better than DK or Lockett. And I like both those guys a lot, but Jamar Chase is like a top two receiver. ASN hasn't caught up. I mean, having Jamar Chase be so much better than anybody we have is kind of a bigger deal, though, because that's your number one receiver. By the way, I think their number four receiver is Charlie Jones, and our number four receiver is Dwayne Eskridge. So if you're going to use that as a tiebreaker, they definitely have us beat because Charlie Jones is really good and Dwayne Eskridge is really not. Um, I don't know. I mean, I like JSN in theory, but he hasn't played in the NFL yet, and Higgins has been a very productive pro. And by the way, don't completely discount the possibility that Lockett's going to start to lose something. I don't want to dismiss that. That's a very realistic possibility, unfortunately. Whereas they have a bunch of guys who I don't get the sense they're losing anything. But yeah, I think the Bengals have to be better than us. That's it, though. Here's the really hard one. Where does our tight end room rank? That was one I tried to figure out for a video tomorrow. That's the hard one. Ranking tight end rooms is way harder than it's worth. I kind of regret doing it. It was not easy. And I probably did a bad job. Where did I rank our running back room? I think it was like 9th or 10th or something. I can't remember. Like, I know I had the Vikings ahead of us because they still, for the moment, have Dalvin Cook and they have Madison, which I think is a killer one, too. Probably. And while I do like Charbonnet, he hasn't done anything yet. I understand that there is some like I look at what like the Packers have with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. I think that's really really good and probably a little more credible than what we have. There were a couple other teams too. The thing is, the Vikings are indicating they're going to cut Dalvin Cook. So that would change things. Okay. Hold on. I'll look at this a little bit here. Yeah, I had the Packers ahead of us because of Jones and Dillon being so proven. I had the Saints ahead of us because they got Jamal Williams and Kamara on top of Kamara. I think the Giants are probably better than us because they got Barkley and Matt Breida, who I've always liked, and Eric Gray's decent too. The Jets have Brees Hall, Micah Carter, and Israel Abadi Kanda. Abadi Kanda is one of my favorite rookies, so they're probably better. I think the Niners are probably better than us too. They've got McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell. That should be pretty killer. Titans too. I mean, I have the Titans at 2 right now. I don't know if that's actually good, but they still have Derrick Henry, and I really like Tajay Spears. Yeah, okay, I have us at 9. Maybe we could be a little bit higher. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't see K9 being a Barry Sanders type running back at all. I see him being a Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook, let me check here. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Dalvin Cook has ever made. Well, Dalvin Cook had the one really, really amazing year. Yeah, Dalvin Cook had the one year where he had like almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage. But other than that, he's just kind of churning out good seasons. Thing with the Niners running backs is that they do have Shanahan, so I might be massively overrating Niners running backs because Shanahan makes them look better than they are. I don't know. But we know McCaffrey's good, right? Like McCaffrey is not a product of Shanahan. Yeah, maybe, but I'm not really believing it. I don't know. That's one of those things where I kind of feel like I need to see it to believe it. Like there are a few things I don't feel like I need to see to believe, like Bijan, and to a certain extent JSN too. But uh, okay, I should be going to bed right now, but I'm not. I have to get up kind of early tomorrow. I'm asking for it, but whatever. But yeah, ranking the tight ends rooms are so hard because we might have the deepest tight end room in the league, right? But most teams don't even use their third tight end ever, pretty except for goal lines. So who cares, right? It doesn't matter that much. I do think we have a top 10 tight end room, but it's really weird. Like I would trade every tight end on this roster to get Travis Kelsey or George Kittle. So that has to be better than us. Put our offensive line right around the top 10. I don't know if that was overzealous or not, but I really feel like that should be the expectation for them this year. I'm pretty sure we were the only team in the league last year to get 300 yards from three different tight ends. Um, I don't think Bradford or Oluwatimi start, Austin. I think Oluwatimi will maybe become the starter late in the season, and I think that Bradford might start when Haynes gets hurt because Haynes kind of always gets hurt. The hard part about ranking like running back rooms is that you inevitably end up getting a way bigger boner for your players than you should. Like Kenny McIntosh. Like I'm actually pretty excited for what Kenny McIntosh can bring. I feel like he's going to play and do stuff this year. But then I'm like, to every other team in the league, they look at him and they see an irrelevant seventh rounder who will be lucky to get on the field. And it like, I have to you have to curb things a little bit before you start getting excited about a seventh round pick because every team has seventh round picks they can get a little excited about. Oh, so yeah, that's the other kind of aspect here when you're comparing us to like other running back rooms. There are running back rooms out there that have 3 proven guys. We have two guys that I feel good about, and then you have DJ Dallas, who is a body, and Kenny McIntosh, who is a 7th round rookie. Like, that's going to ding you a little bit compared to some of these running back rooms that have 3 credible guys, like Atlanta. And Philly, even though I think our running back room is better than Philly's. Because Philly has Swift, Penny, and Gainwell. I don't really love any of those guys. Well, I mean, shout out to Penny and everything, but we all know he's not going to last. Pretty much. I mean, K9 might be a top 5 running back. That's not ridiculous. But then we have 2 rookies who haven't played a down, and only one guy who's like anything close to like a blue chipper. And then you have DJ Dallas, who is, the definition of like a competent body. I don't know. I'm just trying to not get too overzealous with it. Okay, there's got to be a spot of grace around here somewhere. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, Elden Ring's the best other than Sekiro. This is better than any Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne, I think. Although I need to play Bloodborne again. I might change my mind if I play Bloodborne again. But this, the way it just drops you into an open world is pretty surprising, and it works extremely well. Because the whole thing with FromSoft games is that they don't ever really have story. Like, FromSoft games basically never have any kind of story, they just have lore. So, having a game like this that literally you just get dropped off and you can go in any direction and who knows what you might find, it actually works really well for a game that has no story. By the way, when I say no story, I'm not being literal. Oh no, games like Nocturne will always be easier than games like these. Absolutely. This game takes reflexes. This game takes, like, actual skill. I don't think Nocturne takes skill. It takes a functioning brain. And patience and willingness to experiment. Might stream the Nocturne remaster one day. I could. I beat the original a few years ago. I don't know if I feel the need to play it again. Wait a minute, what the fuck is that? I've always considered myself to be not that good of a gamer. But I always play and beat these games, so maybe I'm better than I think, Maybe I sell myself short. I know what Grim Fandango is, but I've never played it. I know what it is. I've watched people play it, but I've never played it. What the hell? I know what Grim Fandango is, but I have not played it myself. So, anyway, when the second half of the year gets here and the video game releases slow down, like there aren't that many appealing releases in the second half of the year, would I just to get a general idea of the temperature of the people who come and watch me frequently, how do you guys feel about me playing like one of the Pokemon games on Switch? Because the thing is, they look like they might be pretty fun, but I really don't want to give Nintendo $60 when they put no effort into those games. So I've always held off on buying them because the price never goes down. And I just don't want to give Nintendo $60 because they half-ass their Pokemon games. But is it something that people would be interested in watching, I guess, is the thing. Like, they look like they're probably decent. Like, they don't look bad or anything. But they look like... But they run like dog shit, and that annoys me. Like, it's the 9th gen. What does F mean in chat? It means something sad or tragic just happened, and everybody wants to pay their respects. It can also mean kind of like L. This is an ancient, well, not really ancient, but it's a very old Call of Duty meme. Yes, there is a Call of Duty game, I can't remember which one. I played it, but I can't remember which one. Where there's a part in the game where you're going to, like, your old friend's coffin at his funeral. And you walk up to his coffin, and then a prompt shows up on the screen that says, press F to pay respects. Which was meant to be, like, immersive. Like, oh, we're actually going to let you control pressing F to pay respects. But it ends up being really dumb. Because the phrase, press F to pay respects, will never not be really, really stupid. I know he can break tackles, but I seriously think Bijan is going to be like an Adrian Peterson type of running back. I believe very strongly in Bijan. And I look at K9 and I see a guy who's going to be not on that tier. I think he's going to get better, of course, but I don't think he's going to be, like, generational. I think Bijan is borderline generational as far as running backs go. By the way, a lot of people disagree with me. Like, I said that Bijan was the best running back prospect in over a decade, and people were like, Saquon Barkley. No. Honestly, K9 might end up being Saquon, but go look at some of the seasons that Saquon's had. Go look at the production he's had. Like, K9 will never have seasons like that, but that's mostly because he's actually on a good team. Saquon was on terrible teams that just fed him the ball over and over again. So, I don't know how to feel about that. Right? Like, K9's career winning percentage in games he's played is probably like 22% or something. Like, he was on some truly atrocious teams. Come on, where's the spot of grace? How is there no grace around here? This is ludicrous. So, completely random question. But do any of you guys remember a movie from the mid-00s called Just My Luck? YouTube recommended it to me earlier today, and I'd completely forgotten the movie existed. And I don't know why YouTube recommended it to me, because it shouldn't recommend it to anybody. But it made me go back and read some stuff about it. I had forgotten about the story behind that movie. Yeah. It was the movie that was meant to, like, launch Lindsay Lohan's film career after Disney, like, now that she was, like, an adult and she was trying to transition into normal movies. So, I never realized this, but the other male lead in that movie was Chris Pine. Chris Pine was in that movie, which is hilarious because that movie was obviously meant to launch Lindsay Lohan's career, and Chris Pine was just the guy, and it ended up kind of launching Chris Pine's career. But anyway, I was reading some stuff about it earlier today. I forgot how big of a train wreck that production was. Apparently, she showed up high on cocaine like every single day. And she absolutely could not get her lines right. It took so many takes to get that movie through. Oh boy. But here's the question. Why did YouTube recommend it to me? What could I have possibly watched on YouTube that made YouTube recommend that movie to me? Yeah. It's not great. So, last night, I had a dream where I was at an event. I think it was Seahawks related, but I'm not sure. I think it was at Lumen Field. I don't know exactly what the context was, but it was, I believe, at Lumen Field. And I remember walking around, and then Sam Dog showed up. He was like part of, there was a big crowd there, and he was part of it. And he comes up to me and he wants to walk around holding my hand. And I was like, what the and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I can't remember what happened after that. It was really fucking weird. Like, it was a very public place. There were thousands of people here. But anyway, weird dream. I don't know where the hell it came from. Last night I dreamed that I was a hot dog and I was jumping through a donut that looked like my mother. What do you think that means? No, that's a line from Two and a Half Men. My allergies usually aren't that bad. Eh. Yeah, he shows up in here sometimes, but I didn't say anything bad about him. I just said what happened last night. I don't know what it means. No! Okay, I'm gonna go way far back now. Hopefully I can get these runes. Really surprised. Oh, okay, cool. Surprised I couldn't make that jump. But anyway. So, anyway, like I said earlier, this is going to be the last Elden Ring stream for at least a few days, because I'm going to be focusing on Zelda. However, the nice thing is I can kind of split focus between Zelda on console and this on PC going forward. So I don't think I'll be away from it for too long. But obviously Zelda is going to be the priority for at least a few days, because it's going to be a brand new release, and that's going to be what happens tomorrow. Okay. No! Fudge! Why did I do that? That was so stupid. Well, I mean, Dota, I don't think there's any way for us to know. That's for the team to know. Maybe in rookie minicamp they realized Tariq Woolen was way further along than expected and that he could start week 1. You know, maybe they realized something like that last year. No! Shit, okay. Why is it up there? I was nowhere near up there. Oh, boy. This is not gonna be fun. So. Uh, fuck it. I'm not doing that. Hey guys, I'm done for tonight. See you guys tomorrow. Video in the morning.